Okay guys, welcome back to the table. I'm Dagget, this is Dagget Designs. In today's video we are drawing a black and grey style butterfly. So let's get straight into it, starting off with a little circle like this for our head, an oval in the middle which is for the body section, and then there's like this longer stretched out oval which is the abdomen, I think, or the thorax. I'm not sure what it's called, I'm not an insect person. Adding a couple of small curved lines to the front of this for antennae, and now we can come in and add in the general shape for the wings. So coming off this side of the body, we are coming up and looping the end, coming around, and then looping back up to where we started. Now, just in case you're thinking this is too simple, there is going to be a little bit of foreshortening in here, which is going to be, make it a little bit more of a complex design, but it's hopefully going to make it a little bit more detailed and a little bit trickier for those of you that have a bit more experience. And also we're doing something quite simple for those of you that are a bit newer to this. Now from behind that, pretty much at the same spot, we're going to come out, just a light line coming out here, down, and then curving back up to that point again for the bottom half of the wing. Now, like I said, it's going to have a bit of foreshortening, so the other side, you're going to do this on a slightly more angular style like this. And then when it comes back, it's going to come back a lot skinnier than the other side, okay? This is because we are seeing a little bit less of a front-on view of the wing. This side, we're seeing it completely flat from here to here, and this side is angled upward, okay? This is going to add a little touch of added detail to it. Coming out from here, it's the same thing on this side, but again, you're just dropping it back slightly early to have a slightly different look to it, okay? We're shortening our view. Now for the inside of the wings, we can add this pattern. I like to just add in a loop to start with on all of the wings. You can pretty much add whatever style pattern you'd like. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I think the best way to do it is just to reference real butterflies. They all have really nice patterns, and they all have very different patterns from each other, so you can sort of reference different butterflies and find what works for you. And butterflies have always been a really popular tattoo subject. I don't think that's ever going to go away, so something to really practice is to learn how to draw butterflies. Okay, coming up from the next one, we're just adding some more loops to this, and I'm going to curve these bottom ones around like so, and this is going to make up the pattern on the wings very shortly. For this base one, I might come out just in front of it and loop the bottom two around, and then come around the top as well like that, and you can repeat the same patterns over on this side. The only difference, like I said, is you have to keep in mind that we are foreshortening our view a little bit on this side, and so you would see a little bit less of the sort of pattern work there, or they'd be less stretched out essentially. Last thing to do is to add some little circles into the areas outside of your patterns. These can be a little bit more random, as I find they sort of usually are, but yeah, just like little circles or oval shapes on those outside areas. The only other thing I would add at this point would be a drop shadow. So we're going to come out from this side and just do like a general wing shape that follows the shape of your wing. It doesn't really have to be perfect, just a general shape like this, and then on this underside as well for this wing here. Okay, so now I've got this basic little drop shadow there. So now I've taped some tracing paper over the top of my butterfly design. I'm going to go ahead and trace out everything except for the drop shadows, and I'll see you in the next part. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is this area outside of your pattern. This can be colored in completely solid black. So if you want to sort of shorten the time that it takes to shade this one, you can go ahead and just color in that entire outside area using the same fine liner or marker that you're outlining with. Okay, now that it's all outlined, you're going to need a couple of pencils. I've got Prismacolor pencils. We're using black and white. Of course, you could use whatever colored pencils you've got. You can even use your lead pencil to do this. I just don't like the shine on the graphite, so I find a solid black or a true black works well. So I'm going to start off by doing the wings here. The pattern is going to be the same for all of these, but you're essentially starting dark in this base part. And I'm just going to gently sort of start to pull out from there using the tip of my pencil. And this will start to create a gradient from a darker shade up to a lighter shade. And you can apply a little bit more pressure towards the start as well. That's going to help with that gradation, okay? So you're going to start like that, and then you come up to the next section of the pattern there. And you pretty much do the same thing, starting from as dark as you want. So again, the technique, I'm just pressing a little bit harder at the start, and then I'm just pretty much pulling the pencil across and lightening my touch a little bit to get a lighter shade. And this is one of the ways that I'll sort of do whip shading using pencils, or if you're familiar with whip shading. Otherwise, you know, if you're familiar with the spit shading method I use, this is much the same as what I do, and you can see it starts to have a really nice look there. And you're pretty much just starting from the center and working outwards on each of those little sections. Okay, couple little things left to do. Our drop shadow, you're just going to use your black and pretty much just gently work over that area back and forward, trying to get a really smooth sort of blend across it. You don't need to worry about the edges being rough or anything, because it is a shadow, so it's supposed to sort of have fuzzy edges. But just try to get a nice smooth sort of shade across there, okay? Now if you need to neaten up your edges a little bit, you can come in with an eraser, and then just take your finger and gently work over your black to help soften up some of those scratching sort of pencil marks. This is going to help sort of soften out your shadow a little bit and make it look slightly more realistic. Now the very last thing to do is to take Prismacolor white, or any white pencil you've got, and just fill in some of your details. You don't have to do this step. Obviously the paper, the white of the paper, or if you're tattooing it, you know, the skin of the person you're tattooing is going to show through. But it can be a nice touch just to add a little bit of white to the tips of some of your little details here. Now, one thing to mention before we finishing up is that foreshortening on the wing. As you can see with that wing on that angle and a shadow underneath, it makes this butterfly look almost three-dimensional and sort of pop off the page, which looks really cool and it looks very realistic. So if you can get that angle right, you're going to have a really nice looking design. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was a little bit different from what I normally do, but please give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, bye-bye. If you like the content that I make and you'd like to support the channel, make sure you smash that like button. And hey, while you're at it, check out one of these other great videos.